Welcome back to another class on Halacha for Women. We are in the sefer called Otzar Dinim by Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef Shlitam. Today we want to speak about, is a woman obligated to remove the ring from her finger at the time when she's going to be washing the hands for the bread meal? A woman needs to remove the ring from her finger at the time when she's washing her hands for the bread meal. ואישה שאינה רגילה להסיר את הטבעת מעל אצבעה בעת עשיית עוגה וכדומה, מותר לה ליטול את ידיך עם הטבעת, ואין זה נחשב לחציצה אפילו אם הטבעת מהודקת. However, comes Rav Yitzchak Yosef Shlita and he tells us, but if you have a woman who's accustomed in not removing the ring from her finger at the time when she's making cake or bread, meaning at the time when she's making dough, and she's not particular in removing the ring from her finger, we're going to tell her she's allowed to wash her hands for the bread meal with the ring on her finger, and this is not considered to be a chatzitza. Even if the ring is very tight and no water is able to go through it, it doesn't matter. Since we see from her actions at the time when she's making dough and she doesn't care for the ring to get ruined, we're going to tell you she's allowed to wash her hands for the bread meal with the ring on, and even if it's very tight. And it's not considered to be a chatzitza. What happens if you have a nice stone on the ring? You have a nice diamond ring. שדרכה של אישה להקפיד להסיר את הטבעת כדי שהאבן לא תתקע במים, חשיב חציצה, וצריכה להוציא הטבעת קודם הנטילה. However, he says, what happens if you have a nice diamond ring, and the way of the woman is to be particular to remove the ring from her finger at the time when she's going ahead and doing dough, because she doesn't want the water to ruin the stone, or she doesn't want there to be any grease or dirt, we're going to say this is considered to be a chatzitza, and now she has to remove the ring before she washes the hands for the bread meal. So really it's dependent on the woman. If the woman is particular in removing, the other way around, if the woman is particular in removing the ring at the time when she's making dough, then we're going to tell her that same halacha is going to apply to you for the washing of the hands for the bread meal. That you must remove the ring from your finger when you're washing your hands. However, what happens if you have a woman, she has a ring, like an engagement ring or a wedding ring, but it's not with diamonds. So she's not particular, she could care less. Okay, and she doughs her dough like that, no problem. We're going to tell her, if you don't remove the ring at the time when you're making yourself dough and you don't care for it to get dirty or wet, that same halacha is going to apply for the washing of the hands for the bread meal. That means when she comes to wash the hands for the bread meal, she also doesn't have to remove the ring. She doesn't even have to move it here or there. Even if the ring is very tight on her finger and no water is going to be able to go through the finger, nevertheless, we're going to say it's not considered to be a chatzitza. ואם אין מקפידה להוציא ולעולם את הטבעת שיש בה אבן מעל ידה, אין זה נחשב חציצה. However, he says, what happens if you have a woman that she's never particular in removing the ring from her finger if it's a diamond ring? We're going to tell you that's not considered to be chatzitza. So, a small review. Point number one, a woman needs to remove her ring from her finger before washing the hands for the bread meal. Point number two, if you don't take off your ring at the time of making dough, you are allowed to wash with your ring on. Point number three, even if the ring is tight on your finger, we're going to tell you still are allowed to wash your hands for the bread meal. Point number four, what happens if we are dealing with a diamond ring and you are careful with it? You don't want no water to touch it. You don't want to, make the dough with it. You're taking it off. we're going to tell you point number one, you need to remove the ring from the finger before washing. However, what happens if not? You don't care about the diamond ring. You never take it off. You're just that type of person. That's okay, fine. Listen, I don't mind if it gets a little bit dirty there, a little bit dirty here. It's not a big deal. Good, we're going to tell you point number two, point number three, that since you don't take off the ring at the time of making dough, you are allowed to wash with your ring on. And on top of that, even if the ring is tight on your finger, still we're going to tell you it is not a chatzitza. This is the halacha for today. Have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.